Hey everyone, it's Dr. Asha. Today we're going to be talking about perception. I don't know who needs to hear this, but guess what? Our perception is our reality. The way that we see things is exactly the experience that we create in our reality. I know sometimes this can be hard to accept, but it is true. This is why we need to cultivate habits of being more mindful and aware of how we see things. Are you someone that sees the glass half empty or half full? Ask yourself that question. And you may think that you see it always half full, but maybe if you evaluate that throughout your day, you kind of see that you tend to look at what can go wrong, or that how you don't have certain things instead of being focused on what you do have. This is going to be really impactful in your personal, professional life, in every area of your life. How you see things is exactly the way that you're going to experience it. So if you always say to yourself, if you find yourself saying, I always have a difficult time, I never am on time, I never find a good parking spot, I never do well on my exams, I really am terrible at such and such. Those are things that you are perceiving to be true, and you are creating that into your reality because that's where your mind is focusing. Okay? So just look at that for just a moment. Take a moment and pause and think about how you perceive your life. Are you someone that perceives it that way? And are you reinforcing that by telling yourself that you're not good at something, or that you're always going to be late, or that you're always this or always that? We have to be very aware of our wording. The way that we talk to ourselves, the energy that we talk to ourselves in, the words are energy. And they resonate at a certain level. But it also gets into our subconscious to where we believe that that is true. If you look at people that are successful or that are really good at manifesting what it is that they want, they are very conscious and aware of how they're speaking to themselves. They're aware of that self-talk, and they are aware of their perception, and they're constantly course correcting along the way. Here's the thing. Our perception changes from time to time to time. I mean, think about a good day when everything has gone your way. Think about how your perception is that day, and your reality really mirrored that back to you. Your experience mirrored that back to you. We have that ability to do it. We just have to be able to focus a little attention on this. So I'd like to share with you today a few ways that you can start to focus on this and be able to turn your perception around to create the reality that you're wanting to. So one of the things that I love to do is just start with today. Ask yourself these questions. What do I want my day to be like? I mean, how do I want to feel? Do I want everything to go well? Do I want to be on time? Do I want to find that perfect parking spot? Do I want to have enjoyment and laughter with my colleagues, patients, clients, whoever you're working with? It really does matter how you set the intention for what kind of day do you want to have? And I think most importantly is, how do you want to feel throughout the day? Do you want to feel energetic? Are you having a relaxed off day? Do you want to feel calm, peaceful, at serene? How do you want to feel? That's going to be very important. And most importantly, what kind of mindset do you want to have today? Are you going to have a growth mindset, or are you going to have a fixed mindset? Are you going to see the possibilities, or are you going to see obstacles and limitations? When we set our intention to that, when we start visualizing this, it's such a fun thing to do. I love to do this at the end of the day to kind of visualize what my tomorrow is going to be like. And even in the morning, I do the same thing. I visualize it, the whole thing. The laughter, I want to feel relaxed, I want to feel calm, I want to be helpful for people, all of those things. It's so interesting because what happens is that it reminds me throughout the day when things may not be going the way I'd like to see them, I can flip that switch pretty quickly. Because when I shift the way that I view it, it automatically changes the energy for myself and for the other person or other people that I'm dealing with. I've seen this time and time again over the years. For example, patients of mine and clients of mine, patients in the practice that are able to heal and get to optimal health so much easier because they have a positive mindset, because they're willing to look at how they are living. They're listening to their bodies. They're listening to their mind and thinking, okay, something's got to change. I've got to make a shift, and I am going to get better. As opposed to someone that doesn't think that they're going to get better and is always stuck and kind of married to and committed to being in pain a lot, and there's so many different factors. That's just an example. But I have seen people actually shift their health and be in more optimal health by really switching their perception. Same thing with my coaching clients, with being able to switch that perception in their business to be, maybe barely making it, barely succeeding, to thriving in their business and actually enjoying what they're doing. And it's so interesting when we are able to do this. So whenever you ask yourself these questions and you start to set the intention and you start to visualize it, it's going to help you create that day to day. You want to be in charge of your moods. You got to be the master of your own moods. You cannot let everything that's happening around you, outside of you, determine how you're going to feel on the inside. Now, I know whenever you're facing something challenging outside of yourself, it can be very difficult. I want you to take a deep breath in and just remind yourself that you are the master of your moods. You're not going to let anything negative happening on the outside or what anybody else says really rock your boat and make you feel bad for the day. You have that power. So take a deep breath in at that moment and reset yourself so that way you can shift your reality to see the opportunities in this and see the growth, and maybe have the opportunity to actually change the energy of the experience of the situation that you are in at that moment. Be sure to practice your gratitude on a daily basis. Be grateful for the things that you can do and the things that you are and the things that you have, and also for the lessons that come along the way. These challenging situations that come throughout the day are there to teach us something. So be grateful for those. I know it's so interesting. This was years ago. I remember getting stuck at an airport for 2 days, actually, because of storms and because of cancellations and everything. And the first 30 minutes, I was just so upset and so irritated. But then I realized, wait a second. Let me just be grateful for this. I get 2 days, which was not exactly a lot of fun being in the airport, but at the same time, I chose to perceive it as, a positive thing, to give myself some rest, to be able to meet new people. And I met, actually, there's two people that I met during that 2-day stay that I'm still friends with. And that's been about 15 years ago now. So it's quite interesting. Whenever you shift it, I had a good experience. I got bumped up to first class. It was really a great experience. Everything worked out and I got my rest and I got to work on things that I had to have some wonderful conversations. And when I changed that perception, it changed the reality of being stuck in an airport for 2 days. Not being able to sleep on a proper bed or anything like that. I didn't focus on those things. So it's very interesting what you can learn and how you can shift any situation. Now, I know it doesn't mean that it's always going to work out 100% perfectly the way that you visualized it. But when you are a master of your moods and when you are grateful for whatever is presented to you, you are in charge of your reality. It's also important to keep in mind and be respectful that everybody's perception and perspective can be different of whatever they think is real. Some people are geared towards seeing everybody as everybody being against them and not being able to trust anybody. And that's what they create in their reality. In fact, they attract people and they attract situations that reinforce that. But that does not mean that they can't shift. I know it's very difficult, but it also does not mean that that's the truth. And we have to be able to discern between those two and respect that everybody has a different perception. We have to gather facts and we have to see exactly what is really at hand. When we start to allow our perception to create a reality in a positive way, in the way that we visualize it, we will start to see everything in our life really flourish and thrive in a very different way. So try it out. Let me know how you do. Be sure to follow us on YouTube and subscribe to our channel. Be sure to sign up for our mailing list at drashaprasad.com. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I'll see you next time.